I am allergic to people. It's
Hmm.
a very unique condition, I hear.
Oh, just so.
I mean, can you believe that? See, you know how people get all red and itchy when they touch a dog or a cat? It's like that, except for jerks, so...
I think in the last one it was fucked up because Morgana was intentionally screwing it up.
Yeah, that makes sense. I couldn't.
Regardless, I am not normal. Bring the food down to the cellar. The book to the library. You are, of course, free to refuse and run back off into the wood.
I'll do it.
All right. Then you take care of that.
Hey.
What is it?
I just noticed there's something else in here. It's wrapped in cloth. What could it be? Oh, a painting! For you to hang up somewhere in the house, I presume. It's so dark I can't see it very well, but I'm sure it's...
Don't touch that!
What? Michel, who had kept his distance from me up until that point, suddenly marched over and ripped the painting from my grasp. Master! His face was twisted into a look I had never seen him make before. Was it indignation? Disgust? Hatred? Panic? I couldn't tell, but there was more than enough negative pressure to cause me to flinch back. Is the painting, perhaps something important?
A landscape painting.
He muttered under his breath, the tension melting away from his face. I was left looking at his usual blank, impenetrable expression. But his eyes were still fixated on the picture, staring at it unblinkingly.
Why a landscape painting?
This was the painting that talked to us.
Some kind of passive-aggressive message. It's not of anywhere nearby. Did they travel somewhere? Well, it's not of that girl, so that's an improvement. That girl.
That girl. Master.
What if they're siblings?
Oh.
Him and the fake white-haired girl. Or I guess not fake, but...
It wouldn't be the first time they put a surprise siblings on us.
Oh, you're still here.
That was my thought.
Because he kind of has red eyes now that I kind of look at it.
Yeah.
They look kind of red.
Oh, did you read the sign? I might have missed it.
Go ahead.
Still here? Of course I'm still here. Who do you think you asked to take care of the package? What's with you? Just running over and snatching the painting from me? You scared me! Could you maybe explain yourself? What's so special about that painting?
I don't believe that's any of your business.
None of my... Of course it is! You ripped it out of my hands like I was some kind of thief. I have a right to know what this is all about, and maybe an apology while you're at it. You told me to open the box, so I did. Then all of a sudden you're angry?
We are not equals. Do not mistake yourself for my friend. You have a right to know. You have no such thing.
You don't have to be rude.
I'll say it again. Leave if you don't like it here. I never asked for you to be here. That was your wish.
My wish? Are you out of your mind? I never asked for this. I never wished for it. Who in their right mind would want to be sent to some house in the middle of nowhere? Who would ever want to go through that? No. Calm down, Giselle. You can't get angry. You're right. That is what I wanted. But I never wanted to make you mad or for us to argue like this. I just wanted to get to know you better, to get closer to you. I mean, it would make things smoother for the both of us. It would make living together more enjoyable for us.
Listen carefully. This is very important for you to understand. Do not try to involve yourself with me. Do not go probing around for information. And if you can't do that, leave.
I completely shut out. The glare he was giving me and the standoffish aura he was emanating were reflected in his tone of voice. Why? Why did he try to push me away like that?
It seemed Giselle really didn't know much about me. Despite being sent here from my house, she was unaware of the monthly deliveries, as well as the reason why I lived in the mansion all by myself. Why, though, would they not have told her anything? Why had she been sent here left completely in the dark? Giselle looked up at me, fear and bewilderment in her eyes, though I thought I could see a glint of suspicion beneath it. Like her true feelings were bubbling to the surface. Everyone had darkness in them they kept hidden. No one was exactly who they appeared to be. She was undoubtedly thinking, I'm not here because I want to be. I knew from the moment I first saw her that her bubbly, sweet effect was still all a facade. Had she thought I was dense enough not to realize? She was no different than anyone else. What I didn't understand, though, was why she refused to leave no matter how hard I pushed. What was she hiding beneath that innocent-looking face? What was she thinking? What did she carry on her shoulders? Everyone is hiding something, deceiving those around them. I had to figure out what she really was. May I ask you something?
Yes?
On the day you arrived, you said you made a teeny tiny mistake while working at my family's house. Tell me about that. What did you do at the Bollinger
Mm-hmm.
Bollinger estate? In that moment, brief though it was, her disposition wavered. Fear? Terror? No, perhaps anger? I couldn't tell. Nevertheless, it was abundantly clear that was a subject she had no interest in me. And so she had borne her fangs. The smile she'd donned now was visibly forced.
It's nothing you need to concern yourself with, Master. I promise it was an insignificant little thing.
She couldn't say. Why couldn't she tell me? What had she done there? What did this woman know about that house? What did she know about me? What was concealed beneath that smile of hers? I am the master of this house and you are a servant. And you still refuse to tell me?
Like I said, it's nothing. There's no reason to bother you. with a mere servant's personal blunders, master.
What are you hiding?
I am not hiding anything.
Then you should be able to tell me exactly what you did at the Bollinger estate.
Like I said,
Tell me. Tell me.
mm, you won't tell me a thing about yourself, and yet you demand others tell you about themselves. Here you are, practically threatening me, demanding I tell you something I don't want to talk about, and yet you still haven't told me anything about the painting.
Oh, so I was right. You do have something to hide. How many times must I repeat myself? We are not equals. I don't care if it's insignificant or something you don't want to talk about. I'm ordering you to tell me. A trifling blunder would not get someone sent to live with the cursed man in a house spoken of so unfavorably. Whatever she had done at the Bollinger estate, that had something to do with why she was here. If she truly hadn't done anything, then she had something to gain from this place, or possibly from... And if that was the case, I had to get her to talk.
Make me.
Giselle's eyes were wide open. I recognized the look she was giving me. I knew very well what that gaze meant. You're an abomination! It was the same as them. Fear, contempt, revulsion, repulsion. The way she acted. The way she spoke. It was exactly the same. You are no different. I made her uncomfortable.
Well, no shit.
Oh, no! Oh, he's stupid. I made her afraid. She thought I was unpleasant. She thought I was despicable. She thought I was a beast!
No!
An abomination. In a frenzy, I grabbed her by the shoulders, clamping down far more powerfully than I had meant to.
Ow! Stop!
Her face, contorted in pain, morphed into someone else's. Who was I directing my anger at? Where was this rage being aimed? Who are you calling an abomination?
What?
Tell me! Who? The black fury bubbling up from within me knew no end. The girl, she ridiculed me. She denied my identity with her glare. I couldn't escape from that phantom, that reality.
What are you? I never called you a
beast!
No! Get away from me! Get your hands off me!
Giselle's scream echoed in the entrance hall, rattling my eardrum. She frantically smacked my arms aside, and then I came back to my senses. She was standing a little ways away, breathing heavily, arms wrapped tight around her body, glowering at me. Yeah!
Mm-hmm.
Showing her opposition to my touching her. Enlightening.
No. You startle me. That's all.
Some servant you are, telling your master not to touch you.
I think they have that right.
Yeah! What the hell?
I am. Oh, right. I have I am allergic to people. It's a very, unique condition, I hear.
Oh, Giselle.
I mean, can you believe that? See, you know how people get all red and itchy when they touch a dog or a cat? It's like that, except for jerks, so...
So,
So, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I beg your forgiveness.
why don't you speak your mind?
What?
This is what's going through your mind right now. I have nothing to apologize for.
No, that's not.
I can somewhat sympathize with your plight, being made to apologize even though you're hurting. I raised my hand against you first, after all.
Then you forgive me.
Sympathy does not equate to forgiveness. Now, you take care of the packet. I'm heading back to my chambers.
Um,
What is it?
you're not going to make me leave after what I just did.
No, I am not. For it would seem I can make you leave on your own whenever I so please. Besides, I had yet to learn what she had done. It would be exceedingly difficult to get the story from her own mouth, which left me with one option. To write a letter to my mother, as much as this very thought revolted me. I wonder if... Mm,
You wonder?
mm, well, the first three stories didn't happen for no reason, right?
Yeah, there has to be a reason they happened.
So, what if, like, they didn't exactly happen the way we saw them, but they have, like, some elements to what's going on here?
Hmm.
And wasn't there, in the first story, wasn't there a servant who, like, slept with the dad or something, and they got sent away to the mansion? Or to a
What?
different house?
No, what happened in the first story was that the white-haired girl's father was a painter of the household, and he slept with the mother. And then that's why he painted that one picture. It was like, this is what I imagine our children might be like if we're allowed to, live peacefully. But since she was born with white hair, which is what the father had, it would have been obvious that she was a bastard child, which is why he and the white-haired girl were kicked out of the mansion.
Oh, okay. I thought it had something to do with their dad.
No, the only thing that they mentioned about the dad was that that was originally the white-haired girl's target when she came back, since her plan was originally to try and kill someone there. She wanted to kill the father, but he was almost never at the mansion, which is why she eventually then started targeting Mel.
Oh, okay, okay.
Several days had passed since the package arrived. The end of my third week living in the mansion was drawing near. Michelle wasn't getting any friendlier either. He continued to either snub or bluntly dismiss me whenever we crossed paths. I didn't understand why he acted that way around me. But there was little point in asking when he seemed to think there was little point in talking to me at all. Although at first I had been sure there was some way to get him to warm up to me, the more time I spent in the mansion, the more my willpower began to feel like it was at its breaking point. I could tell myself to stay positive until I was blue in the face, but it would only work for so long. The one pretty place in the whole house. I'm glad he hasn't covered it back up. Blue moonlight shone quietly through the stained glass window, vainly illuminating some of the room. I hadn't noticed until now, but the room with the stained glass window appeared to be modeled after a chapel. Rows of pews faced the window, below which sat what used to be a pulpit. There was little left of it, though, and an awkward lamp of silver was mounted to the pulpit's front front face. What was, I assumed, formerly a cross. Upon reflection, rather than facing the window, the pews seemed to be pointed at the pulpit, or perhaps the cross hanging on it. I wasn't sure why there would be a chapel inside a mansion, but had no one to ask about it. For a house of this size, the statue of Christ or the Virgin Mary seems more appropriate. It's a very well-made chapel, at any rate. I doubted Michel had had it built for himself. There would be no reason for him to cover the window if that were the case. Nor had I ever seen him come to pray. He doesn't seem like one to believe in God. God. I'm not even sure If God really existed, then surely the world would be a much more pleasant, peaceful place. No unfair disparities in money or power. No senseless misfortune. I certainly wouldn't found myself here either. But God was evidently quite fond of giving mankind trials, so he would probably tell me with a straight face that this was one too. Or, perhaps, we simply had a false impression of him, and he didn't actually give us anything. He merely sat back and watched from somewhere far, far away. It wasn't his job to bring peace to the world, or ensure our laws were fair. That was all mankind's responsibility. What is God? What are angels? I have no idea. Maybe the Bible has answers. Why should I pray to someone so far away? How do I know my prayers is even getting there? But still, it's not like I have any other options. Don't you worry. It'll all work out, I promise. I already know where I'm going to work. It's a really prominent noble house, way out of reach of some small-time merchants like us. You never know, this could be my big break. Oh, I'm just kidding. Don't look so worried. I'll be just fine, honestly. I'll make enough money for us to get back onto our feet. Oh, for goodness sake, I can handle it. Leave everything to me. You just wait. I'll make our family into something you can be proud of. I'll be fine. Yeah. Say bye to Mom for me. I probably won't be home for a while. What? You're afraid I'm going to make some careless mistake? I'm not that airheaded. Maybe. I can be a refined and elegant young lady. Those nobles won't even know what to believe anymore. If you don't believe me, how about I give you a little taste? Ahem. How are you doing this fine morning, master? Your morning beverage is ready, prepared with the utmost of care. See, how about that? Not bad, huh? What? You really think it sounded forced? I was the daughter of a merchant who ran a shop on the capital's main street. My father had passed away in a plague, so it was just me, my mother, and my older sister. It would have been a lie to say business was doing well. We struggled to squeak by day to day after taxes. But we couldn't just abandon the shop and leave the capital either. So we tried to make the best of what we were able to take in between the three of us. Then, my sister fell in love with a moderately well-off aristocrat. My mom and I were supportive of her and her desire to marry. But their union almost fell apart because she was not suitable for him. Merchants were hardly the lowest class. What we lacked instead was wealth. We needed another source of money beyond what the shop took in. If only we had money, my sister could get married. If only we had money, my mom wouldn't have to work so hard. If only we had money. It was then that someone from the distinguished Bulliner estate approached me. He said they were in need of Abigails and would love to have me. He said that if I agreed to work for them, the Bulliner estate would take care of my family. Generally speaking, noble houses took Abigails from other, lower-ranked noble houses. It was unthinkable for someone of my status to receive such an offer, so I took it as a once-in-a-lifetime chance and accepted the offer. I just pray that nothing bad happens to my sister, and that Mom is getting enough money to live comfortably. That's all I can do. They're nobility. They have plenty of money, enough to spare some. Ah. The light shining through the stained glass window began to grow murky, fading into blackness. It felt like a message from on high that no, my prayers would not be answered. The bluish-white illumination shining down upon me disappeared as clouds blocked the moon. Oh, come on. You don't even want to look at a sullied woman like me. Oh, for heaven's sake. I never asked to end up like this. They're nobility. They have plenty of money. Enough to spare some. Oh, come on. You don't even want to look at a sullied woman like me. Oh, for heaven's sake. I never asked to end up like this.
Giselle was sitting at one of the pews in the room with the stained glass window. Just looking at her, you might have thought she was offering a prayer. But the words coming from her mouth were anything but prayerful. Is that a word?
Doesn't look like one to me.
They are filled with resentment. They have plenty of money. A sullied woman. And then, I never asked to end up like this.
Apparently it's a word.
So this is what's beneath her facade. Most likely, money's what she's after. All I need to do now is confirm my suspicions with them. Just what awful secrets will I uncover? I gave Giselle, sitting in the pew with her head drooped, a cursory glance before leaving the chapel. I had somewhere else to be. The bitterly cold outside air felt like dozens of needles flowing into my lungs. It had been so long since I had stepped beyond the mansion's walls. A thick mist canopied the night sky, blocking out the moonlight. Naturally, the heavens did not rejoice at my leaving the house. It had been 10 years since I had seen the mansion from the outside. Wow! And it hadn't changed one bit. A gloomy scar upon the earth, shrouded in darkness. Hardly the kind of place someone would enthusiastically approach. Nevertheless, it was better than that house.
Yes. Who is it?
Michelle.
What? Michelle Bulliner? Just one moment. I'll be right there. Come in. It's a humble abode, but make yourself at home.
Hey, is that the one that the white-haired girl was locked in?
Oh, it might have been.
Well, I must say this is rather unexpected. Just one word, and I would have been up there in a heartbeat.
And how was I supposed to do that? I am, regrettably, fresh out of carrier pigeons.
Right. Yes. My apologies.
This man, living in a small cottage not far from the mansion, had been hired by the Bullinger family. His job, to watch over me. That said, we never actually interacted. He was tasked with keeping track of whether I was still alive and whether I remained in the mansion. The monthly package from my family was delivered to him, which he then passed on to me. It was insipidly convoluted, but it was indicative of how much they wanted to avoid anyone learning about me.
Well then, what can I do for you?
The manservant was visibly rattled. Afraid, too. But not because of the difference in our social rank. I had a pretty good idea of what he had been told about me. He was afraid of me. Or more specifically, my curse. Curse in quotes! People fear that which they cannot comprehend. Not just children, adults as well. They fear demons, witches, and curses, anything impure or not of this world. But I had long since gotten used to being viewed as such. It didn't sadden me, it didn't disappoint me, it didn't pain me. Some things were too foolish to concern yourself over.
Thank you, military. Any way to get this on? Follow the cables. Right, Joel?
Yep. Follow the cables. Follow. Oh, there's more thing. Oh no, there's nothing. It's everything. Everything closed. Just a few bottles. Oh wait, bullets. Do I actually have a gun? I do. Oh, I did not know that.